Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Q0 Theater Company's live streamed reading of A Series of Inelastic Collisions by Eugenie Carabatsos. I'm Artistic Director Dan Pelletier, here tonight very excited to be a part of our first fully virtual performance. This is part of our laboratory series where we experiment, take some bigger risks, and build all sorts of fun new theater. If this live stream goes well and is well received, we do hope to make this a regular feature not just for the duration of the pandemic, but well beyond that. Before we get started, I do have a few announcements that I am obligated to make. At this time, please silence all noise-making devices and take note of the nearest fire exit. At the conclusion of this performance, there will be a brief, moderated discussion with the playwright regarding the piece, her process, and why readings like this are important. Audience members are welcome to submit their thoughts and questions through the YouTube comments, and we'll try to get to them after the questions if there's time. We invite you all to fill out the feedback survey that is in the description box of the YouTube video. Q0 could not exist without the generous support of all of our members and sponsors, and a full list of them can be found on our website. I'd like to take this time to thank our top-level supporters, Lori Pelletier, Alex Bezos, and Kriva Academy Public Charter School. If you'd like to become a member, a sponsor, or just make a donation to CZT, you can find links in our YouTube description of this video as well. Thank you all for supporting local theater and joining the revolution. I now present A Series of Inelastic Collisions.
Hello, is Jason home?
Hi, Jason. This is Louisa.
Matthew?
Cyrus.
Jess.
Philip.
Beatrice.
Violet.
Josephina.
Lewis.
Sarah.
Calling on behalf of
Timothy Thayer.
Are you familiar with him?
Yes, George's boy.
And will you be supporting him in November?
I'm happy to hear that.
Thank you for your time.
Do you need assistance getting to the polls?
Can I have your email?
Much quieter in here. You sure you don't need a hand?
I got it. I have to say, I'm so impressed by the turnout. I know this election has people riled up, but I didn't expect that in this district.
We're very proud of our outreach.
You should be. Can you hear that? They're talking. People are actually answering their phones.
We have the highest rate of landlines in the state. What did you say your name was?
Rain, like the weather.
I knew a girl named Flurry once. She was what do you call them? A taxidermist. Have you ever done phone banking before?
Years ago, before computers were involved.
It's all pretty straightforward. You got a phone?
Yes, somewhere.
She digs. Jess waits as Rain goes through her purse. She unzips her suitcase. Jess points to her pocket. Rain reaches into her pocket and retrieves it.
Laptop?
Oh, sorry. I don't have one.
Oh, that's okay. You can use this one. It's slow, but it'll get the job done. You just have to sign in and call this number. When someone how to connect you to the next person. Don't hang up unless you need a break.
Okay. Thanks, Jess.
Rain looks over the script.
Hey, Jess? This script is for Timothy Thayer's actually here for Zoe Sachs for president. Marissa told me to come here.
Who's Marissa?
She works with the Sachs campaign.
There was a person who was in charge of that. Came a few weeks ago, but no one came, so she stopped showing up.
So all those people out there? They're all here for city councilman's race?
We don't even have the Zoe Sachs scripts. I'll tell you what, though. I know Mr. Thayer would really appreciate your help.
I don't know much about him. I don't even really live here. I'm just visiting my son.
Everything you need to know is in the script.
The thing is, I'm here for Zoe Sachs.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but this state will never go blue. Not in a presidential election. It's better to focus your energy on something you can affect, like electing Timothy Thayer for city councilman.
Becoming purple.
He's George's son.
Is that supposed to mean something to me?
Look, if you don't want to be here...
I do. I do want to be here. What if I just alter the script? You know, treat it like a Mad Lib?
Go for it.
Thanks. Oh, and hey, any chance you have those signs? You know, the lawn signs.
You'll have to drive to Coniston.
That's 70 miles.
That's where they have the signs.
Okay. Hi, is this William? Hi, William, this is Rain. Yes, that's my real name. I'm calling as a volunteer on behalf of presidential candidate Zoe Sachs. Hi, I'm calling for Penelope. Oh, she is. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Cancer? Yes. Terrible, so terrible. Thank you for your time.
Hello?
What?
Hello, Rain, is that you?
It's me.
I didn't remember.
I miss you, Sonny.
I miss you too.
I'm seeing Frost. Him and Marisol and those kids they're looking after. Should I tell him you say hi? Oh, hi. I'm Rain, Frost's mom.
I know.
And you're Bailey, right? I'm not sure the correct terminology. Do you call them your parents?
Only when I want something. I'm kidding.
Oh.
They're at church.
On a Thursday?
Yeah, there's a new Bible study group.
How'd you get out of it?
Physics test. They'll be home soon.
Good. That's good.
You'll be staying in Deborah's room?
Your sister.
I should warn you, she can be a little disruptive when you're trying to sleep.
That's okay. I always travel with earplugs. I slept next to a 90 decibel snorer for 40 years.
It's not that. She's a chronic primal screamer.
A what?
It's not technically a scientific term. That's just what I call it. She's okay, though. No need to freak out or anything. She doesn't even remember it the next morning.
Okay.
The first night it happened, Fa and Ma, that's what I call them, by the way, they freaked out and even considered sending her to a shrink.
Did they?
She saw the pastor. Not a believer?
No, but I don't judge.
That was almost convincing. You got to work on that for Fa and Ma.
Frost was just like you when he was young, observant. I imagine he still is. Those qualities don't just disappear when you find Jesus. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Do you mind if I play video games?
No. Do they know you play this?
Definitely not. You gonna tell them?
No. On your left. There. What happens now?
Nothing. I'm dead. Rain, can I tell you something?
Sure.
I think I may be agnostic.
Oh,
I've been dabbling.
dabbling.
Yeah, my thoughts. They've dabbled in agnosticism lately. I'm walking around, going about my day, going to school, and being like, okay, maybe there's no God, maybe there's no Jesus. That's okay. I can live like this. And then it's like, bam, death.
I can see how that's unsettling.
How do you do it? How are you just okay with death?
I don't know that I...
And it's like the whole decomposing thing, too. Your skin rots. You know that, right? It rots, and you emit this like green substance from your lungs, and you expel fluid out your mouth and nose.
You know what, Bailey? Maybe this is something you should talk to your farmer about.
I didn't mean to upset you.
No, it's fine. It's just a little hard for me to think about that stuff right now. Let's just... Do you want a drink? Beer?
Huh? They don't have alcohol.
That I don't believe for 1 second. He may have found Jesus, but there's no way he gave up the fox. Ha! It's Makers, but that'll work. You want some?
Okay.
You more a beer guy?
I'm more a juice guy.
Oh, was that your first? Fuck! Sorry, I just assumed you'd... Well, you are in high school. When Frost was in high school, he was always sneaking out to concerts.
Ma and Fa were in a band, right? Recipe?
Yes, but that was later.
Were they any good?
Yeah, they were. They had the love songs, of course, but they also did these great political songs. Not anthems or anything like that. They were quieter, gentler, but still somehow piercing, nuanced. I always thought they could make it. Like, actually make it. But Frost, he wanted more security. He wanted to use his brain. That's what he always said, as though creating something is passive. And Marisol's voice, let's be honest, she's not my favorite person in the world, but her voice, it's like Twilight.
I've never heard her sing.
I see you have time for Timothy sign.
Duration rate.
Think he'd be a good city councilman?
I guess so. He's George's son.
So I've heard, but I don't have the slightest idea what that means.
George Thayer. He's a mayor who revitalized the downtown, minimized crime, got better funding for schools. I guess people think they owe it to him to give his son a chance.
What do you think?
He's got a good story. Single dad, 2 sons. One of them lost his leg, enlisted and became some kind of war hero. Some people think he was part of SEAL Team 6.
So that's Timothy?
No, that's Thomas. He's living in Arizona. He's the older brother.
What did he do?
Nothing yet. That's why everyone's rooting for Timothy. It'd be hard to live up to a brother like Thomas. Do you have any siblings?
No, I was unplanned.
Me too. Deborah and I are, what are they called? Irish twins? She's 11 months older than me, but still acts like she's my mom. Let me ask you something. Do I give off an orphan vibe? Because I swear to God, I swear every woman I meet is auditioning to be my mom. It's really killing my game. Stephanie Pesavento said that I was delicate. When I asked her to go to prom with me, she pinched my cheeks.
Some people need to take care of someone to feel important. You don't want someone like that. They end up with Munchausen's by proxy. Here's what you do. You go to college and find a girl who you like to debate. Someone you can disagree with.
I don't know.
How'd you get that lawn sign?
Oh, they came to the door handing them out.
You know that if you want to get a Zoe Coniston,
They probably don't see the point. This state hasn't gone blue in a presidential race since 1928.
1928. You like politics?
I like statistics.
You should probably study.
It's no use. I'm going to fail. I'm at peace with it. If only Ma was. She's obsessed with me passing this class. It's pretty pathological. Tutors and shit, the whole deal, but nothing helps. Even Fa can't help me.
Well, Fa thinks the Earth was created in 7 days. Here, let me see that.
Thanks, but it's pretty advanced.
You're doing the math correctly, but you're having some trouble with the concepts. What happens to a car when it hits a tree?
Come on.
Seriously, Bailey, what happens when a car hits a tree?
It smushes?
Right. It stops moving. What you've done here is confuse elastic and inelastic collision. An elastic collision means there's no loss of kinetic energy or momentum. So if two objects hit each other, they would just bounce back, unchanged. But when a car collides with a tree, what happens?
It bangs up your car.
Car don't bounce back. They become entangled. This situation is an inelastic collision. So what does that mean?
The driver dies?
What happens with the energy?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Think about it.
It transfers?
Exactly. The kinetic energy you had before you hit the tree will be different than the one you have after it.
Then, isn't everything an inelastic collision? Two things don't just collide perfectly in real life. That's not how the world works. There's always a change. Things affect other things.
That's true.
Then what's the point of studying elastic collisions?
Maybe it makes us feel better to know that there are collisions out there that don't change things. That the objects can go on their merry way unbothered by what just happened.
So you're actually good at science.
I'm a scientist. I was one at least before I retired. I studied high energy physics.
For real?
For real.
I just assume you're I don't know, a hippie or something.
They're not mutually exclusive.
Like you did peyote and majored in kinesthetics or sociology.
Ross never told you anything about me?
Just that you weren't a believer. He also said that you make good Thanksgiving stuffing, but that's
My husband made the stuffing.
I shouldn't have said all those things about decomposition earlier. I don't know what I was thinking.
Let's not circle back to that.
He spends all his time complaining I don't affirm him. But seriously, how hard is it to stock shelves? No one ever praised me for doing my job.
Sometimes people just want to feel appreciated.
But he's actively bad at his job. For real, doesn't even line up the boxes.
You're here. Great to see you.
You too.
Mom,
Son,
this is DeBorah.
Hi.
nice to meet you. Sounds like that guy will get himself fired soon enough. I wouldn't worry about it.
And I see you've already met Bailey.
Yes.
Yo, Safa, I was thinking we should watch Jaws tonight.
You just want to see the naked woman at the beginning.
No, dude, it's all about the soundtrack. Okay, but it's art though, right? So it's okay. It's cinema.
We'll see how the homework is going.
Bailey, there are no video games on weekdays.
See what I'm saying? I did study. Rain helped me. You never told me she was a physicist.
Frost said you were a homemaker.
Homemaker? I didn't know people still use that word. He was struggling with inelastic collisions, but I explained.
I never said she was a homemaker.
Sorry, stay-at-home mom.
Stay-at-home mom implies she wanted to be there. She was unemployed.
I'm not done.
I was a physicist.
You were an adjunct professor for 2 years at a community college over 30 years ago.
What is that?
Teacher's edition. It helped to help us help him.
Well,
it's right.
Kids, why don't you leave us to it? Oh, and Deborah, that work thing. Let's talk about it over breakfast.
It doesn't really matter.
Of course it does.
Okay. Thanks.
Bailey told me about her night terrors. You really should encourage her to see a therapist.
Our parenting is none of your business.
Oh, parenting. Is that what you're doing? Seems more like a midlife crisis.
It's been 10 months. It's not exactly a fleeting fancy.
9.
Almost 10.
Closer to 9, actually. I remember the conversation well. I told you it was time to say goodbye to your father. You told me you were too busy adopting teenagers.
Fostering, and technically we're not doing that anymore. Deborah's already aged out and Bailey just turned 18, but they're still here because we're parenting them.
Have you eaten? We have leftovers.
What kind of person names their baby Deborah? I just can't imagine looking at a baby and thinking, Deborah.
What kind of person names their kid Frost?
Someone who appreciates thematic consistency. I'm fine. I eat at the phone bank.
The phone bank?
That's where people go to make
Yes,
calls and
Frost.
try to convince
I know
people
what a
to
phone
vote
bank
for their
is.
candidates. The whole process is very invasive.
Just expressing confusion over why she would be going to a phone bank.
Just like proselytizing.
I have pie.
Phone banks are a waste of time.
That is categorically false.
People don't change their minds.
It's not about changing their minds. It's about rallying the base, convincing people to get out and vote. And people do change. You transformed. Why do you like Timothy Thayer?
You have a problem with Timothy Thayer?
How could I? He's George's son. I'm serious. What are his values?
What can I say? I like an underdog.
That's not enough.
It's my vote.
You're wasting your right. You're making rash, uninformed decision.
You know nothing about Timothy Thayer. Mom, I don't want this visit to be like every other.
Which visit are you talking about?
My pastor said.
In my old age, I can't remember that far back. When was the last visit? 5 years ago? 6 years? And now you're telling your pastor about me? Aren't you worried he's going to tell God on you?
But you made it pretty clear you wanted nothing to do with me.
That's not true.
Dad said.
Dad does not speak for me. He never spoke for me. We were two separate individuals who made two separate decisions. And the fact that you didn't even bother to show up?
I sent flowers.
Everyone asked for you, you know. They all hounded me. Where's Frost? Where's Sonny's boy?
Would you tell them, Mom, that I didn't give an F? Did you tell him that the reason I didn't come is because he wouldn't have wanted me there?
Maybe you should let us speak privately.
Don't excuse my wife. Marisol, stay here.
What is she, a dog? Marisol, stay. Marisol, you can go.
Stop dismissing her!
Oh, right. That's your job.
My ex tell you that? When you had all your heart-to-hearts? Why were you always on her side? I'm your son.
Because your ex wasn't an asshole.
If I'm such an asshole, why are you here?
Because I wanted to see my son. Is that so hard to believe?
Frankly, yes. You're saying that the fact we live in a purple state has nothing to do with this visit?
Our country has a choice between an experienced, intelligent woman and someone whose strongest claim to the presidency is that he looks like he could play one on TV.
Not everything boils down to sex and race.
Not everything does, but most things do.
Some people believe in his message.
Yeah, sexist and racist people.
That's not true. I'm not either.
First of all, if you're an evangelical Christian, you're at least a little bit sexist.
We believe in equality, just that they have different roles.
Ah, yes. Separate at before. Second of all, you support Petrus Nielsen? Jesus Christ, I knew you were different, but I didn't think. I didn't think it would be possible for you to fall so far.
He's pro-life.
You weren't so pro-life when you knocked out Judy Sorensen sophomore year of high school.
You're a single-issue voter just as much as me. Would you ever vote for a pro-life candidate if you agreed with everything else they said?
No. But here's the thing, Frost. I don't have the luxury of voting for a Republican because, unlike you, I'm still fighting for my rights. Maybe when I'm treated as an equal, maybe then I'll be able to vote for someone just because he's George's son. But until then, I'm fighting.
Marisol sends Bailey away.
Right. And that fight brings you here. I told you it wasn't about Dad, Marisol. Marisol thought it was because you were sad, lonely. But Marisol had normal parents. She didn't understand that's not how you operate. Well, in that case, you can go. You want to live here, go find a hotel.
Frost.
With what money?
Sell the house. Do whatever you need here.
She should stay.
That's a horrible idea.
On that, we can agree. I'll just get my things.
Do you know what Bailey got on his last physics exam? 59. And do you know how many errors he had tonight? 3. 3 minor errors.
So he's doing better. Good.
Because of something Rain said. I want you to stay, to work with him.
Get someone else.
We tried someone else. He can't have another F on his report card, Frost. The guidance counselor said that. He won't get into college. We're supposed to be giving them a better life. Isn't that the whole point of this? To give them opportunities? To give them a better life? You're staying, Rain.
From offstage, the sound of a primal scream. They all look upstairs. Scene fades. Scene 3. The phone bank. Rain talks on the phone to Sonny.
Bailey called it a primal scream, and that's an apt description. But just at the beginning, there comes a point toward the end of the scream, just before she's about to wake up, when it transforms into something else. A roar.
You're too old for a roommate.
It's nice to have someone there, despite everything. You haven't asked about him. He looks the same. More sure of himself, maybe. Confident. It's good to see. He's always so...
He was a coward.
You shouldn't say that.
It's an accurate description.
You shouldn't say that to him.
I'm not saying that to him. I'm saying it to you.
Well, you shouldn't say that to me either anymore.
All right, all right.
Marisol looks different. She's heavier. I don't mean her weight. I mean, she carries this heaviness.
That's what children do to you, especially later in life.
Maybe. Bailey's never heard her sing.
That woman could sing.
This morning I listened in the bathroom door when she was showering just in case. I know that's creepy.
Oh, it's sweet.
They begin to crack. They're losing signal. His lips move, but
Sonny?
nothing comes out.
Are you there? Hello?
Sonny exits. Caller 1 enters. Please hold. We're having minor technical difficulties. We will be right back. Thank you for your patience. We're going to pick up where we left off. Sunny exits. Caller 1 enters.
It's Mr. Thompson.
Yes? Who's this?
My name is Rain, and I'm calling on behalf of
What'd you say your name was?
Rain,
Where's that from?
the weather. I'm calling because
I don't want to buy anything.
I'm not selling anything. I'm just calling to talk about the election.
You at Timothy Thayer's office?
I am.
Well, you can tell him he can count on my vote. I met his father once. He was a great man.
That's very kind of you, sir, but I'm actually calling on behalf of Zoe Sachs for president.
Oh.
Have you decided whom you are going to vote for in the presidential election?
That's none of your business, but you tell Timothy I think he'll do a great job.
Honey?
Caller 1
Sonny?
becomes caller 2.
Hello?
Hello, my name is Rain. Is this Cheryl?
Yes, this is.
Hi, Cheryl. My name is Rain.
You've said that, yes.
I'm sorry. It's just one of those days. Anyway, Cheryl, I'm calling on behalf of President candidate Zoe Sachs.
I've been waiting for someone from your office to call me back. So what are we going to do about it?
About?
The lawn signs. I'm not driving to Coniston to pick one up. And let me tell you something. I live in the 2nd district. It's gone blue in every single election in my lifetime. But I don't see one Zoe Sachs for president sign because no one wants to drive to Coniston to pick one up.
I'm sorry that you're frustrated.
Of course I'm frustrated. Every day I walk out of my house and have to see Petrus Nielsen for president signs. And I swear they're propagating. Now, I'm not saying this district will go red. That's just ridiculous. But I am saying it hurts morale, you know? And morale is important.
Cheryl, I hear you. I'm going to get you those signs.
Oh, okay. Well,
they hang
that
up.
Would be great.
Caller 2 exits. Rain looks at the phone. Hopefully. Nothing. Scene fades. Scene 4. Rain and DeBorah in a car. DeBorah is driving.
You can put the radio on. I don't mind.
It's fine.
Guess you're not afraid of silence.
Seems like a pretty stupid thing to be afraid of.
I guess it depends on the types of silence. My husband, Sonny, he loved to categorize things, silence being one of them. There are the good silences, like a peaceful silence or a comfortable silence shared. And there are some that are kind of in between good and bad, like the silence of anticipation or the silence of politeness or appeasement. And then there are bad silences, like the silence of reproach or giving up or nothingness, or that kind of forced silence when your mind is so trapped in thought that you couldn't possibly speak as well as think. Thank you for driving me. I should really renew my license, but I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Marisol told me to, so...
Marisol? You don't call her mom?
Why would I do that?
Bailey does.
I don't need a ma. I just need a roof. Look, I'm grateful they didn't have to take me in. I was 18, but they did. They're good people, and they're good for Bailey. The silence of reproach. Bailey needs a 94 in his midterm. Marisol says it's an 89, but it's a 94. She thinks he'll get full credit for class participation, but he won't. Tell me the truth. Can he do it?
I'm not sure.
You've been working with him, haven't you? That's why they're letting you stay.
Yes, but look, physics is not something you can just master in a couple of days.
This is his chance to go to college.
Grades are just one of many things that factor into it.
I know that. I read Kaplan, but GPA is important. It's what gets you in the door. Then all the other stuff will shine through.
Have you ever considered college?
I have a good job at Sam's Club. There's room to grow, and there can't be two of us in school at the same time.
Don't you think Marisol and Frost would help out?
They might, but for how long? Bailey doesn't follow all the rules.
What rules?
Sometimes he'll eat before he says grace, or he'll lie about playing video games during the week. And they caught him texting in church last Sunday.
Well, he's a teenager.
What are they going to do if Bailey... I don't know. Talks back or stops going to church? If that happens, I need to be ready. The silence of pity.
It's not pity.
What is it then?
I don't know. Your Sam's Club salary isn't going to be enough to send anyone through college.
Well, then I'll get another job, and he will too. And when he's done and settled and he's gotten himself a good job, then I'll go.
Sounds like you've charted out quite a plan. DeBorah, those dreams you have...
I don't have dreams. I sleep through the night like a baby. I close my eyes and open them in the morning, and it's light. If I yell at night, it doesn't bother me. If it's disruptive, then maybe you should sleep on a couch.
No.
Deborah sees something out the
fine.
window. Half a smile emerges.
What?
Nothing. I've just never been to Coniston.
Nothing special.
You've been here?
Years ago, when Frost and his first wife were thinking about moving.
My mother said they have a restaurant that only serves popovers. She used to come here on her birthday when she was a kid, she said. My Nana promised that she would take me someday, but that never happened. She got sick. She would have taken me if she could.
Where's your mom now?
I don't know. Jill, probably.
And your dad?
Never knew him.
I'll tell you what, after we pick up the signs, why don't we go there? You said you wanted to go. Let's go. I was trying to be nice.
I don't need you to be nice. You know, I'm the one doing you a favor. You know, I could have gone myself if it was about the popovers.
The way you were talking about it.
Talking about it what? Made it seem like destiny? That going there would do what? Fulfill some kind of childhood wish? And wouldn't that be nice for you to be able to complete that wish? Wouldn't it make you feel so good inside? You're just like Frost. Egotistical enough to think that you can change things. That you matter. Just like this stupid election.
Have you ever voted, DeBorah?
No.
Most of us aren't going to affect the world. We're not all going to be presidents or scientists or the next great American novelist. I know that. I know that in the grand scheme of things, my life doesn't really add up to much. But when you vote, when you participate in our society, you contribute to history. You become part of the greater story of the universe. You're suddenly Schenectady. Does that sound to you?
I know what it means.
A part represents the
AP
whole.
Lit, and it sounds sentimental.
What's wrong with sentiment?
It's like pretending every day is Christmas morning, that Santa and his reindeer have come for a visit to give you everything you wanted for free. And that even the coldest is somehow magical, and your family is somehow normal, and you can eat whatever you want because it's a holiday. Well, it's a bunch of bullshit. Nothing is free. Cold is cold. Families are broken, and stuffing makes you fat, no matter what day of the year it is.
You think you know everything because you've had a hard life? Well, let me tell you, your experience clouds your view of the world just as much as everyone else's. Now pull over. I'll walk from here.
What do you mean? How are you going to get back?
I'll figure it out.
But the signs?
I'll figure it out. Now pull
Deborah pulls over. Rain opens the door to get out. Deborah starts to break down.
What's going on now?
I can't go back without you. If they see that I left you.
Oh, trust me. They'll understand you leaving me on the side of the road. Deborah, they're not going to
Deborah
kick you
doesn't
out.
believe her. Rain gets back in the car, buckles her seatbelt. Deborah calms down. They sit in silence for a while. Deborah
Ready?
nods. Scene fades. Scene 5. The phone bank. Now a pile of Zoe Sachs for president lawn signs are there. Rain is on the phone with caller number 3.
And I have them right here in Timothy Thayer's campaign office.
In Pearl.
Downtown.
I live in Roxbury.
That's just the next town over.
Yeah, but with traffic,
It's about 15 minutes.
if you don't get any light.
Not interested in a sign.
Roxbury.
Don't forget to watch the debate tonight.
If caller 3 hangs up, Rain crosses out a name, makes a new call. Caller 4 answers.
Hi, Leslie. This is Rain calling. Rain from Zoe Sachs for President. We spoke a few days ago. Anyway, I wanted to thank you again for agreeing to support, so to let you know that I've secured some lawn signs. I have them right here in Timothy Thayer's campaign headquarters.
Okay,
And I would be happy to save one just for you.
but thanks anyway.
Before you go,
Caller 4
Reminder
hangs up.
that the final
Rain looks at
debate
her
is
list of
on.
callers, tries another one. Caller 4 becomes caller 5. Caller 5 answers.
Yo, Rain, what's up?
how's it hanging, Reggie?
Good. How can I help you?
First of all, I just wanted to thank you again for supporting Zoe Sachs for president. And I wanted to let you know that I've secured some lawn signs.
Some what?
Lawn signs, you know, for your lawn. They show your support.
Right on.
You can pick them up right in Timothy Thayer's campaign headquarters. Do you know where that is?
Sure do, but listen, Rain, don't be offended, but I'm not going to be displaying one of those. I totally intend to vote for Zoe Sachs.
Intend.
You know, if I get off work in time. Supportive of you and your cause. It's just, well, I'm looking out my window right now and all I see are Petrus Nilsson signs. And these guys, you know, they're my neighbors. My kids with their kids. I plow their driveways in the winter. They're kind of my business, man. You get it?
I see.
People just get sick, you know? It's like, I don't want to rock the boat. But like I said, I totally intend on,
Right.
even though my vote won't matter.
Your vote does matter.
Oh, you mean symbolically?
Symbolically, too, but literally also.
You're pretty idealistic for an older woman. I dig that about you. But I'm not interested in the signs. You hang tight, okay? Keep on keeping
Caller
on.
5 exits. Scene fades. Scene 6. Sounds of media coverage of the debate between Zoe Sachs and Petrus Nilsson. Tonight was the final debate between two presidential candidates, Zoe Sachs and Petrus Nilsson, and it was eventful. Here to break it down, we have John Mayers, political strategist, joined by Ashley Toledo, former congresswoman, and Paul Davis, our senior correspondent. Lights up on Rain, Marisol, Bailey, and Frost sitting on the couch, staring at the television. Empty takeout containers in front of them. Rain is in shock. Frost is smug. Marisol's eyes dart between her husband and her mother-in-law on edge. Bailey can't contain himself.
That was insane! Seriously, how come no one ever told me? Paul, she's like, wham, you're sexist. And he's like, bang, you're corrupt. And she's like, hi-ya, you're a fat. And he's like, no one cares about your facts. They're boring and fake. And she's like, America cares. And he's like, but I have a dick, I have a dick, I have a dick.
All right, let's settle down.
Oh, man, I this. She was like super aggressive as a kid. She'd have been totally into it.
I'm glad you found it to be entertaining, Bailey, but remember, the election's really about the issues. Sometimes we can get so wrapped up in the sensation of it all, we forget what's really important. I, for one, was less concerned about the
stalking
stage presence of the man and more interested to hear what he had to say about the economy.
He had nothing to say about the economy. He just said it was bad.
And identifying that there's a problem is the first step in proposing a solution.
He also said that she didn't have what it takes to man up and stare down dictators.
Insults were thrown, and quite frankly, that was the least effective part of the debate.
Are you kidding me? That's the best part.
You can't just ignore what people say.
I'm more concerned with what people do.
You're ignoring that, too. You're cherry picking.
But you're just upset because Sachs didn't do as well as she was supposed to.
What are you talking about? She clearly won. She was level-headed, composed. She gave a concrete, clear answers to the questions.
You think her saying, people like you care more about protecting their guns than protecting their children, you think that was composed and clear-headed?
So she had one mistake. He had hundreds in the matter of a couple of hours.
Yeah, look, women aren't allowed to make mistakes. It's totally unfair and stuff. But it's true. I mean, look at what they're saying.
Bailey turns up the volume on the TV.
Sachs said tens of millions of Americans don't care about their
That's
children.
an understatement. I would say she demonized them. These people are parents, and she's demonizing them viciously.
That's a mischaracterization. A spin on a gaff.
So you admit it was a mistake.
A mistake?
The delivery
What's
was...
that Zora Neale Hurston quote? When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. I'm sorry?
Maya Angelou.
Oh,
Maya
right.
Angelou said that.
Sorry. The point is, she showed us who she really is. This isn't someone who can appeal to Americans at large.
She'll be regretting that
It's a
statement tomorrow, that's
divisive.
for sure.
She's divisive, is what it is. We can't afford to be divisive right now.
On that,
Marisol
we
grabs
can
the remote
agree.
and turns down the volume.
Homework
Turn to Marisol.
now.
She calms herself.
Come on.
Bailey and Marisol exit.
To speak that way.
I didn't teach him cuss words. You're more.
In general, yes.
Why didn't you go to Dad? He said stupid things, but he didn't mean them. You know he didn't mean them. My God, if I cut things off with your father when he said something stupid, we wouldn't have lasted 5 months. He was a great man, but he was a child in many ways. Stunted. Didn't have what you had. You know Grandpa wasn't a good parent. To him, your dad was a saint.
I know that, Mom, but that doesn't mean...
You should have been grateful to have a father like Son hand on you.
That's supposed to make you a good dad. That's supposed to be enough. Goodness. And here you are arguing that someone was a good father because he didn't beat his children.
Don't put words in my mouth, Frost. I didn't say that.
Look, maybe you were okay being married to a man, but I didn't need to be a parent. I needed a parent.
You have.
Love isn't enough. Kids need
You've had a kid for 5 minutes, and you think you know?
to feel secure. They need answers.
Brave child, open-minded. I just don't understand what happened.
And you know what, Mom? Under all of that, I was fucking terrified, and it's no answers.
There are no answers to the questions you asked. You just had to live your life. You had to decide things for yourself.
I did. for? You just didn't like it.
Because it's a lie.
You don't know that! There's no way to know that!
It's a horrible way to live. You think this helps you be less afraid? You're afraid of a threat to your marriage. What other people do behind closed doors, what music you listen to, what television shows you watch, the way people talk. You think it's some kind of conspiracy to make you sin. You're paranoid.
I'm not scared of being a father. Not anymore. I never had kids. Because I didn't think I could do it. To show me how. But then, when I started going to church, they tell you have these values.
You think you're being
DeBrota
a
enters
father?
from the front door wearing her Sam's Club uniform. Rain does not notice her.
Used for a couple of years of your life makes you a dad? Well, it doesn't. It makes you a fucking martyr. You want to help people? Why don't you start with your own family? When these kids are gone, you'll forget about them because you don't love them. You don't know what love is. You never have. The only thing you love is structure.
Rain finally sees
rules.
DeBrota. DeBrota walks through the living room calmly and then exits.
I didn't mean for her to hear that.
Frost follows
Screw
after
you,
DeBrota.
Mom!
Frost exits.
I'm
Only the sound of
sorry.
the news coverage of the debate remains. This was a very bad day for Zoe Sachs. Scene fades. Scene 7. The phone bank. Overlapping voices.
Did you watch the debate last?
Believe what she said. Of course we care about our children. That's why we need guns.
Who does she think she is?
I'm telling you, she's too confident.
No class! No
I tell you, I know
class!
he's a jerk, but he looked good up there.
Way more composed than I thought he'd be. Didn't Timothy think so?
I support Thayer. I do. But it's about time he starts discussing himself from her. Folks here, they don't care about Zoe Sachs.
They're crooks. The both of them. He at least tells it like it is. I'm not saying he should win. I'm just saying
Rain is
it's
leaving a message.
refreshing.
I think she showed that she's a fighter and is willing
Jess
to speak
enters,
her mind.
decked out in Time for Timothy clothing.
So, you're not going to be able to keep the signs here.
What?
We're getting another shipment of Time for Timothy swag, and there's not going to be space.
Plenty of space. I can put them here.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Of course it'll work. It will hardly take up room.
Look, Timothy doesn't think it's a good idea to be so visually associated with Zoe Sachs right now.
What do you mean?
I mean, after what she said last night, can you blame him?
She was speaking her mind. Unveiling the truth about America's.
She was driving a wedge.
So her approach wasn't as careful as it could. But Precious was innocent. He said hundreds, literally hundreds of offensive things.
Nilsson is worth sure. It's just, see, it's not really good for the campaign. That kind of divisive talk, you know? Time for Timothy is about bringing people together. And her image, it just kind of divides. Look, you can still do your calls here if you want. We're not kicking you out. We just want your presence to be a little less present.
But I already told people they could pick up their signs here.
I'll tell them here, but you can bring them in with you.
That's crazy. I can't just cart these around.
I'm trying to work with you here, Rain.
I understand that, Jess, but my son's not going to allow these in his house.
Well, I just don't see how that's my problem.
I'm just trying to get you to see my point of view.
I like you, Rain. You're a true believer. I like true believers. To get Timothy Thayer someone elected to city council?
No.
Well, let me tell you something. It isn't easy. Voter turnout right now is atrocious, even in a presidential year. We just can't afford to take risks right now.
Over to Nielsen?
Of course not. Nielsen's a fucking lunatic. He is associated with Zoe Sachs right now. Hey, maybe it'll pass. You know, Rain, time someone with your gusto and dedication. If you ever want to affect real change, just
Jess
let me know.
exits. Rain sits back in her chair, depleted. Sonny enters.
You're right. No. I mean, what you said to Frost about the kids.
Oh, that. Not one of my proudest moments.
He's always had a desire to feel important.
Maybe because he never felt important.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing.
He's always had a flair for...
It wasn't enough. I apologize for what I said about the kids.
You caved. He's an adult, Rain. He's a grown man with a wife and kids, and he still has you wrapped around his finger.
Sure, Sonny.
All right. Right.
No, we don't. Font. Up to you in the past.
Well, this is a very important election.
Says the person who forgot.
Oh, it was a bit thing.
Right.
Face, and I won't be able to come around as often.
Don't say that.
Serious.
You still make me smile.
But now I make you frown too. I never used to make you frown.
Nothing. I just can't believe that's how you think of yourself. That you are only a source of happiness in my life.
Took you long enough to say.
With your moping and your dying.
Yeah, that seems fair to put on me.
The moping started well before the dying.
Well, it started about 20 years after yours, ever since you got fired from that stupid community college.
I didn't get fired. I left. I left to raise our son.
They didn't renew your contract. You could have stayed if you could.
It was sexism.
Not every failure you have is because of sexism.
Not every failure, but
it was sexism. Whatever. I don't want to fight about it.
I'm not fighting about it. I'm just saying it's not like you only ever made me smile.
Jesus Christ. Even when I'm dead, you have to argue with me. Didn't we just say it was perfect?
Not every day.
Sonny transforms into SCHUYLER.
Excuse me?
I said...
Rain realizes she's no longer talking to Sonny.
Is this Rain?
Rain, I'm calling on behalf of...
I called you.
Excuse me?
I called you. You've been calling my number every day this week, and messages are clogging up my voicemail.
I see. So let's, Mr.
Bolino.
Mr. Bolino, will you be supporting Zoe Sachs for president this November?
We both.
Trying to be subtle.
You're not as professional as you seem in your voicemails.
Well, your voice sounds different too. It's much higher.
Higher.
I'm sorry. Does that offend your manhood?
Not particularly.
Well, aren't you so advanced then?
The knuckles on my left arm still drag, but I can do wonders. You liked that one, didn't you? You're trying not to smile.
No.
It sounds like you did. As I said, I will be supporting Zoe Sachs for president, but I will not be voting.
Prove it.
Prove I'm Canadian?
Say something about hockey.
I don't support generalizations, but I'm still not over the 0506 NHL rule changes. No ties. Are you kidding me? That good enough for you?
I say aluminum.
You're thinking of a British accent.
Oh. Sorry. Sorry, I'm just... Look.
You're a grown woman. What are you doing calling me Mr. Bolino?
Well, whatever your name is then. SCHUYLER?
You can call me Sky.
I can assure you I won't clog up your voicemail anymore.
Wonderful. Just one more thing.
Yes?
I like to get one of those signs. One of those lawn signs. Do you know where I can picture one? Procure one?
You'll have it at Timothy Sayre's office.
All right. Thank you.
He hangs
Bye,
up.
Rain.
She waits on the line for a moment. No answer. Scene fades.
Honey?
Scene 8. Frost's house. The Zoe Sachs for President signs are piled up in the living room. Rain waits. Bailey enters, texting, smiling.
I've been waiting 20 minutes.
What's with the signs?
Don't ask. Who are you talking to?
No one.
Stephanie Pesavento. Isn't she the girl who pinched your cheeks? Well, how did that happen?
We had this debate in school, like potential debate, and I got assigned to Zoe Sachs, and she was Petrus Nilsson, because, I don't know, gender is a construct or whatever. Anyway, so we're in this debate, and I'm like, really minutes things that you yell at Fa.
Okay.
And she was like really into it, you know?
The feminist things you were saying?
Petrus Nilsson supporter, so probably. But she was into Fa, and then she told me that she dumped her boyfriend and is looking for a rebound.
She told you.
She's very honest. That's what I like about her. That and other things.
Bailey, she doesn't sound like she's really interested in a relationship. Are you sure?
Definitely. I mean, I couldn't ever actually date a Petrus Nilsson supporter.
But you're willing to do other...
Suggested it, like, why not?
Bailey, have you ever... Are you sure you want to? Because society, especially men...
Now, this isn't society. This is pure biology.
Do you have condoms?
What? No,
Do you want me to get you some?
He gets another text, looks at it, his eyes widen.
That's probably a good idea.
Do you have a good...
I don't know, my dresser?
Too obvious.
My bed?
Next place any parent would check. Come on, Bailey.
I have this address book. It's my dad's, like my real dad's.
His phone buzzes.
They wouldn't
Brain
look in there.
confiscates it.
Time to study. Now, what's the difference between a contact force and a non-contact force? What's the difference? Non-contact force.
A contact force needs contact to occur, and a non-contact doesn't.
A contact force is a visible interaction between macroscopic collections of matter. Non-contact force acts on an object without coming into direct contact with it.
That's what I said.
Can you think of an example of a
picks up his phone.
contact force? Bailey.
What? It's an example. I'm using force to
types.
pick up my phone.
Brain
Now I'm
snatches
using
the phone
force
away
to
from him and
type.
places it on the table.
What about a non-contact force?
I don't know, the four things?
What four things?
The four, the four forces?
The four fundamental forces.
Yeah, those.
And what are
Electromagnetism, stress, weak nuclear force, and
gravity?
whatever. Gravity's the weakest.
Gravity is not the weakest.
It literally says so right here. Gravity.
Yes, but that's only at an atomic scale. But gravity's effect on macroscopic objects, it's unlike anything there is. Seriously, gravity has infinite range. All the other sources cancel themselves out at long distances, but not gravity. Its influence is endless, and it can't be absorbed, it can't be changed, and it always attracts.
A buzz from his phone. He springs for it. She blocks him.
Just let me see what she wrote back.
Do you want me to tell them about Stephanie?
Fine. I don't see the point. It's not like I'm going to call.
Marisol has it in your head that everything is riding on this physics grade, but
It's not that. I don't even know what I'd study.
liberal arts.
I don't know. It seems like a waste of money to go to school if you don't even know what you're going to do with it.
Marisol and Frost would help you.
Help me go to one of their weird Christian schools. I don't want to go there.
I thought you were only dabbling in agnosticism.
Let's be honest, I've made the full leap.
There are scholarships.
Yeah, I know.
To go to college?
I'm just not ready, okay? Why is that so hard to get? And you can't tell me what to do. You're not my nana. You're my fucking tutor. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm a mom. I'm used to it.
Deborah thinks I gave our mom a hard time. Maybe I did. I tried, though. As much as I... Deborah's just such a people pleaser. She's perfect that everyone will love her and be good to her, and if they're not, that means there's something wrong with her. But I'm not like that. Was Fa a bad son?
No, of course not. What?
No, nothing. That.
Deborah and Frost enter through the front door wearing Petrus Nielsen t-shirts. Frost carries a brown paper bag.
Ugh. What is that?
Petrus had a rally in Coniston. Deborah wanted to go. Is Marisol home?
She's upstairs. I thought you didn't vote.
Deborah shrugs.
Thousands of people there. It was pretty breathtaking. All types, too.
What's that supposed to mean?
It just means people from all walks of life.
He pays people of color to be there. You know that, right? It's all in the news.
That's what some people say.
That's what journalists say.
I read the paper.
You read Breitbart.
Jesus. I mean, Mom, can you not believe that I might be an informed voter who just happens to prefer Petrus Nilsson over Zoe Sachs?
No.
Excuse me?
I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that any informed voter would believe that.
What are these signs doing here?
There's no room for them at Thayer's office. What?
Nothing. It just looks like I'm not the only one who doesn't support Zoe Sachs.
Listen up, Frost. Change is coming. I know you don't want to believe it. I know you want to grab hold of your religion and your so-called values because progress scares you. But here's the thing. It may seem like a stream now, but eventually it's going to be a flood. And your walls, they're going to fail you. And you're going to be swept away.
Oh, I like the biblical imagery. There's one thing we agree on, Mom. Change is coming, but progress isn't always positive. Sometimes we have to go back to tradition, back to fundamentals, and people want that. More people than you
Marisol
realize.
enters. She sees the face-off.
What's going on?
Just a Crossfire rerun.
Did you tell her?
Oh, not yet.
What?
So I talked to my boss, and well,
What?
the receptionist at my office quit, and they've been scrambling to find a new person. And I just thought, I started out as a receptionist at Kimball and Jean, and now I'm a VP. So
Okay.
I gave them your resume.
I don't have a resume.
I put one together. They were very impressed with the fact that you graduated early, that you had the drive and ambition to go into the workforce as soon as possible.
It was more out of necessity than...
Anyway, they loved you. You're hired, basically.
But I have a job.
This is better for you in the long term. Think of it as a gateway, a stepping stone to a career. Not just a job, a career.
I see. What's the pay?
The pay is worse for you short term. But don't worry about that, honey. Frost and I will help you. It's time to invest in your future. You start Monday. You're stunned. I shouldn't have sprung this on you.
No, it's fine. Thanks. I guess you didn't have to do that.
Oh, I wanted to. You'll have to give Sam's Club your notice. Kimball and Jean will take you part-time at first.
What are we having for dinner?
We ate in Coniston. Deborah told me about this popover place. I never knew there were so many different types.
Oh, sounds delicious.
They were.
What about me?
You can get something on the way to Bible study.
Yes, we should get on the road. Today we're talking about eschatology. End times always engage. A lively discussion.
You know what, honey? I've been feeling a little sick.
It's that sushi you ate yesterday.
Well, you were right. I shouldn't have had it. You go without me. Send everyone my best.
I will. All right, it looks like it's just us three, unless you'd like to come, Mom. Or you'd be too busy building that raft for the flood you're predicting.
She kisses
Have
Frost on the
fun.
cheek and exits. Frost gathers up Deborah and Bailey. He looks down at the brown paper bag.
Oh, Mom, I got you this.
Oh,
It's ham and cheese. I thought you might.
yeah. Thanks.
Well, all right. Well,
Frost,
let's be
Deborah,
off.
and Bailey exit through the front door. We hear the sound of them getting into the car and driving away. Rain's attention is drawn to the pile of signs. She gathers them and heads towards her room. Marisol enters dressed up. She looks cool. She's carrying a guitar. Rain doesn't see her, staring. Scene fades. Scene 9. Voices in the darkness. Gallup has her leading by 5 points.
Quinnipiac says 3. It's because of that.
Why did she say that? She can't help herself, can she? Can't keep her foot out of her mouth.
Voices grow louder and louder, more muffled, overwhelming as...
Honey,
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Voices
Rain,
end
are you there?
abruptly. Lights up on Schuyler and Rain on the phone.
Sky,
Excuse me?
that's my name.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Hello again.
I'm calling about my lawn sign. I stopped by Timothy Thayer's office yesterday, but hey, I hope you haven't run out.
Sorry about that. I must have just missed you. Perhaps I can mail it to you?
No, I'm getting one for my most recent campaign donation. Did you see the debate?
I did.
She wiped.
She was composed, wasn't she? When he was stalking her like that, she just pretended like he wasn't there.
I would have socked him. I would have.
Speaking of you,
Ever been to Canada? You seem to have a strong idea.
Americans, Tim Hortons, healthcare.
We separated Aboriginal from their parents. Is merit-based.
Shattering my dream.
Places are like people. None are perfect.
Well, this place certainly isn't. I'm just for the election, since the swing state and everything. Cancer?
I mean, we're divorced. She's my cancer.
I don't know. We all get cancer. Just sure, like skin shit early, or like thyroid, for prostate. And a lot of people don't even need treatment because the odds that problem. What? I'm the one to ask.
Well, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be. You said it was a good one.
I'm so embarrassed.
You know.
I don't usually.
No, don't start now. Not on my account, at least.
Okay.
Are you married?
So
The connection gets muffled. Marisol enters, no longer dressed in her cool clothes. Rain doesn't see her. Schuyler transitions to Sunny.
Rain,
Sunny, can you hear me?
I can. Are you there?
I'm here, Sunny. I'm here.
Sunny transitions back to
Sorry
Schuyler.
about what I said earlier.
I told you not to worry about it.
You made me happy. You made me so happiest.
Huh?
Sunny?
Rain hangs up the phone. She
Sky.
notices Marisol. She lets out a primal scream as the scene fades. Scene 10. Frost and Marisol's house. Rain sits on the couch, staring off into space. Marisol drags the last of the Zoe Sachs signs off and then joins Rain.
I heard this podcast once about this town in Japan. It got totally devastated by the killed. A year later, a guy put up this phone booth. It's not connected to anything, and they talk to their loved ones, those they lost and those still missing. There's nothing.
Then why does Frost hate me?
He doesn't
Find Jesus for no reason. I thought I didn't think he needed this. What?
You think I need this? You think I want this? I hate everything. Women, homosexuality. They're fucking paranoid that everything in the world is a threat to marriage. Why does someone watching porn? What does gay marriage have to do with my marriage? Ridiculous. It's like, if your marriage isn't strong enough to handle someone else having a relationship that has absolutely nothing to do with you, then that says something about your relationship.
I never realized.
Of course you didn't. You never realized me, Rain. To you, I was just an obstacle rerouting Frost's life.
I never thought that. A catalyst, maybe, but...
Well, I'm a person, okay?
Yes. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm jumpy these. I'm fighting a lot inside. I mean, the whole thing is absolutely maddening. That he would get over it. When I met him, he was a Buddhist. In college, he was a Wiccan. Frost has always been religiously promiscuous. Sure, this was a big change, but who was I to judge? Not really something I ever thought about. And Frost, he was clearly unfulfilled. And if going to church could help him rebuild that part of his soul that was missing, I thought, why not? We'd go to a service or two, drink a beer after, and talk about how stupid it was. But that didn't happen. It meant something to him, and he changed. For a while, it was a good change. He was more positive, more secure, and his interest grew. We started going to Bible. He slowly removed our secular friend. And then we took in these kids, and I'm not saying I regret it. They're great kids. I care about them. They make me laugh. They give my life a new layer of meaning. I wonder if I love what we're doing more than I love having the kids. Do you ever think, what happened?
Yeah, every day.
I know we do. We have house, good jobs. I just never thought this would be the life I would have. I just didn't think that I would be the kind of woman who lets a guy run her life. And sometimes I wonder if it's like a guilt thing, like because of the way Frost and I got together. If it's like we did this terrible thing and now we're paying for it.
Look, you didn't kill the woman. You had an affair. It was a terrible thing, but it's not. You don't have to punish yourself forever. Is that what?
maybe after we got together, there didn't seem to be a need for it anymore. That's what Frost. I guess it was never about the music for him.
And what about for you? I saw you with your guitar. You had a gig?
Just an open mic.
I have a beautiful. It's a shame to waste it.
It was always about the music for me. It's like when a childhood friend calls you by your old nickname and you're taken by surprise, but you're also filled with this warmth, and that warmth just of your body through all of your limbs, and suddenly your atoms are connected to all of the other atoms around you, and you discover that you're not just in the world, but you are it too. Maybe he feels that way when he goes to church. I don't know. There was a guy there. Owns a restaurant in the area. I guess he remembered me from recipe days. Anyways, he's giving me a real gig tonight. Not like what we used to have, but
that's great.
Nervous.
Rain goes to the kitchen and opens the cabinets.
I found your stash hidden.
Rain finds something. She looks at the label.
It's the fox.
It's not mine.
It's not.
Deborah wouldn't. Or Bailey, they wouldn't.
It's Frost's.
Frost doesn't. He doesn't. He made us quit. This isn't funny. I've been hiding my liquor for months, all to find out that he's been doing the same thing. Oh, what a hypocrite. Oh, I swear, he's such a hypocrite. Why do you look so happy?
It's just nice to know he's still
Rain opens a different cabinet, grabs the bottle of Makers from the back. She takes out 2 glasses and pours one for each of them. She holds them up for cheers.
To the past. You never would have let yourself be erased like.
I'm not as resolute as you think.
What are you talking? Oh, unbending. Always sticking to your principles.
Politically, sure, but when it came to Frost's conversion, my husband shocked. He was the one who started withdrawing us. Sonny claimed it was because he didn't support Frost. He didn't want to be associated with someone whose worldview was so small-minded. But that was just an excuse. The truth is, Sonny had felt threatened by Frost for years. Our son was living the life that...
What do you mean? The band?
No, it had nothing to do with music. Does Frost ever talk about Angela? Angela was Sonny's co-worker. He was in love. Nothing ever happened between them. I don't even know the same way about him. But that didn't stop Sonny from falling for her. And then Son broke off his marriage to be with you, and you two went on the road and chased your dreams, and Sonny was still with me. Job. And when this religious change came about, he weaponized it, and I let him.
Why?
Because I wanted to protect what we had. Our marriage wasn't without its problems, but I didn't want a new life. I didn't want to change. And the thing is, it's easier when your kid is an adult. You don't see them every day. Sonny and I woke up together, went to sleep together, ate together, walked together. We decades. The idea of changing my life for someone I only saw a couple of times a year, even if he was my son, it didn't make sense. I wanted to protect what I had, so I gave him up.
Did you resent Sonny for it?
Of course, but it was my decision to go along with it. You should tell Frost about the gigs.
I should.
You won't.
I just like to have something that's
Footsteps at the
mine.
driveway. Marisol and Rain stash the alcohol. Bailey enters, a backpack slung over his shoulder.
How was school?
Bailey takes a piece of paper out of his backpack.
So,
Test.
94. Did you see this? 94. He got a 94.
That's wonderful.
All right, relax.
You word.
Glad to help.
Marisol throws her arms around Rain.
All right, all right.
This is such a great, the whole world is going to open itself up to you.
Right.
And I have just the present for you.
Marisol retrieves Fisk's Guide to Colleges.
Think of this as a choose your own adventure. Now it's going to take some time to go through, but Frost and I already earmarked the pages with the schools we think would be a good fit for you.
Messiah College, Oklahoma Christian University, Oral Roberts, Bob Jones University. That one sounds fake.
There are a few others in there that I marked. A bit more secular. Don't tell Fa.
Thanks, Ma.
Oh, I have to head out.
Where are you going?
Oh,
She
just
leaves,
errands.
sneaking the guitar out without Bailey noticing.
I have to tell you something.
Okay.
So I was Bento this afternoon.
Oh God, I don't think I.
It's
really
fine.
wanna-
No one was home. And I did what you told me. I stored in my dad's old address book, just in case.
No.
And so, things are happening.
I don't need to hear about the
And
things.
it looks like it might be time, so I go for the address book and
It's okay. Couldn't, or if things ended earlier than you
it
expected.
wasn't that. I went for the
He takes out the address book.
and I saw this name.
He shows it to her.
Okay. What did it say? Mom.
My father's mother was that she wasn't around. I always assumed she was dead.
And?
And nothing. My room.
Okay. I don't need to hear the details.
Anyway, after Stephanie Pesavento left,
You don't need to call her by her full name.
I called Mom. Dad's mom, Nana. She lives in Atlanta. She hasn't spoken to my dad in like 20 years. We have family down there. Lots of it. Cousins and aunts and uncles. And they have this family business. It's like trucking or something.
That's...
She wants me to come down there.
Have you talked to Deborah about this?
No.
I understand you. I really do.
I know you did. That's why I'm telling you. I want to go, Rain. I want to go to Atlanta and meet these people. I don't need much, just enough for a plane ticket or even a bus.
What about college? Just for normal colleges, not religious.
Maybe I'll go eventually, but I want to do this first.
You don't know this person, Bailey. Maybe there was a reason your parents didn't want you to know her. I understand that's your family, but so is this and Marisol and...
And I don't want to hurt them. But This is something I need to do, even if it isn't a good idea. Even if it fails and they aren't anything like I thought they would be. Because I've lived my whole life afraid. Afraid of hell, afraid of sin, afraid of disappointing DEBORAH. But the thing is, I'm not afraid anymore because and I'm still here. And there's more to life than survival, and I want to experience that part too. Disappointed, but maybe I won't be. Maybe I'll find something there. I love Fa and Ma. I love DEBORAH. I don't want to leave on bad terms. I want...
Okay.
You'll help me?
Bailey hugs her.
I don't know how much help I'll be. My opinion isn't valued highly around here. Look, Bailey, you need to be smart about this.
I know.
And you need to talk to your sister.
I will.
And just know that she may feel very differently from you about this whole thing. Or you're right. There's no right way to feel about this.
I get it.
Okay.
Frost enters, briefcase in hand.
Hello.
Hi.
Frost goes about relaxing
You
after
look happy.
work, taking off his shoes, blazer.
You look happy.
You got a 94.
94! That's Marvel Bailey!
Thank you.
Bailey's phone buzzes. He glances at it and gathers his things to leave.
Where's Ma?
She had errands.
Errands. Did she say when she'd be back?
Bailey shrugs, exits. Brain shrugs. Frost starts to rearrange the furniture, setting up some snacks, getting water, glasses, making sure the liquor's out of sight.
What are you doing?
We have counseling tonight.
Counseling?
Marriage counseling. Yeah.
You're in counseling?
No. It's not like that. We counseling. Me and Marisol, we counsel other couples.
That's allowed?
We were trained through our church. Marisol's supposed to be here.
So these people are sent to you.
Maybe hard for you to believe, Mom, but they actually want to come. I've never done one of these myself. It's best late to both. Marisol, she's better with the theories of it all.
I'm
Headlights
shocked.
appear in the driveway.
They're here.
Well, good luck.
Oh. Can you stay?
No.
Just until Marisol gets back. You don't have to counsel them. Don't say anything.
Footsteps in the driveway.
Mom, come on. Please. These people need our help. They're headed to divorce. Good people.
There's a knock at the door.
They have a kid. Come on.
Frost opens the door. Jess enters.
Yes?
You two know each other?
She phone banks at our offices.
Is Dudley coming separately?
He's running late. Got stuck at the hospital, and I still managed to be here on time, but whatever. I can't compete with dying people, right? Where's Marisol?
She's also... My mother was just going to sit in until Marisol gets back, if that's all right with you, of course.
Maybe this isn't such a good...
No, it's fine.
Great. Well, let's take
The
a
group
seat.
sits. Silence. A few moments of offering snacks, water.
Should we get started without Dudley? So, Jess, last talking about issues you were having dealing with your mom. You want to tell me more about that?
She still doesn't think I spend enough time with her. My sisters, they're all up. I've been really busy with the campaign and the baby. And Dudley's... He's been disappointed with the lack of attention he's been getting lately.
And Dudley has communicated his needs to you? What have you done to address his needs?
Well, the thing is, my mom, she's older. She's not healthy.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And it's like, well, I just kind of need Dudley to suck it up for a little while, okay?
It can be very challenging, especially in situations like this, to remember that when you marry, you sever a bond with your parents to create a new attachment with your family.
Well,
You have to remember the priorities. Genesis 2:24, right, states, "A man shall leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife."
Yes, but what about a daughter?
It's the same thing.
so she's supposed to just abandon her sick mother because her husband is feeling a little left out lately?
Leaving and abandoning relationship with your parents, it just means that you manage your family different now that you have a case where, well, in a case such as yours, right, where a parent may want to reattach to their child as though they were still a husband or wife.
Surely she can be
many things, but the first and foremost thing is she is, just like Dudley is, firstly a husband. Roles. I wonder if Dudley is worried that by prioritizing your work, child, and mother over spending time with him, if he feels disrespected.
I don't know. Probably.
Respect is important in all marriages, but especially with men. If men don't feel respected by their wife, his husband is vulnerable.
What if you're finding fewer and fewer things to respect?
Sounds like you're focusing on his weaknesses, and that's not allowing you to see his strengths. Dudley's greatest strengths.
He's a good dad.
Okay, that's very important. He's a good dad.
And he has a good sense of humor.
Good.
But he's also just...
Let's focus on his strengths. Philippians 4:8, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is... It's the long... If there's any excellence and anything worthy of praise, dwell on these things. When in doubt, keep your faith in God, not in Dudley. And you'll never be disappointed back to your husband.
I have a question about roles.
Oh. Maybe it's best if we wait for
I know that Dudley is supposed to be the captain of the ship, but does that give him the right to tell me how I should do my job?
Well,
he says that since he makes the final decision, that he can decide if my hours are too long or that I'm spending too much time at work, and that he can insist that I quit.
That's ridiculous.
That's not exactly how we define the roles. A husband is the captain, of course. But husband, he will listen to the desires and needs of his wife and take those into account before.
So he's not a good husband.
I didn't say that.
You just said that if he doesn't take my needs into account, then...
I said that ideally. I said ideally he does.
So he doesn't have to?
He should.
And if he doesn't?
then he has a flaw. We all do. It sounds like this is something you would like Dudley to work on.
Would you say that it's unchristian of him? Trying to do that? Trying to control me? Isn't that emotional abuse?
I wouldn't. I don't. Maybe you should talk to the pastor.
Because if it's unchristian, it sounds for a divorce.
Just because you can get.
So I can?
No. I mean, technically, yes, but it doesn't mean that you should.
That I should do what I want?
That you should get divorced.
But if I did get divorced and it was because of emotional abuse, then...
Again, I don't know exactly how we define emotional abuse. Do you have the pastor's number? I think this is something... I
could still, come to church, right? Because, I really like it there. The walls are so bare. It's nice to see a bare wall once in a while. And everyone has been so welcoming to me. I've never had so many people want to introduce themselves to me who weren't trying to network. And it's nice, too. People being so worried about your soul. It feels good to know that people care.
Her phone buzzes.
He's not coming.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Mitchell.
Okay,
if that's what you want.
Jess gathers her belongings and says goodbye.
Yeah.
Frost goes about cleaning the room. Rain watches Jess turn and notice the pile of Zoe Sachs signs. She smiles, takes one, and exits. Frost tosses things back into the cupboard, frustrated.
Where is she? I need her for this. I can't just... You know how bad it looks when a man is telling us?
In fact, I do.
This was a mistake. These are the kind of things that set us back. This is why we're supposed to do it together. So that MARISOL can field, the role quicken. I don't know what I do.
I'm sorry it didn't go the way you'd hoped.
Now she's going to get divorced because of me.
She's not divorced because her husband sucks.
I gave her an out.
She was going to do it, or without you.
I was supposed to guide. I was supposed to guide her. I just caved.
It's
okay. Divorce affects everyone. It's an epidemic. Once one couples, look where we are as a nation.
You can't let other people's relationships affect your own.
That's a nice thought. That's a nice thought, Mom. But I'm sorry to say that's not how the world works. MARISOL, really?
I don't know. Do you think you are?
Let's see what the kids are up to.
Scene fades. Scene 11. Rain is on the phone, struggling to hear over the voices spilling in from the other room.
Is this... Hi, Stella. This is...
Jess?
Matthew.
Beatrice.
Louisa.
Josephina.
Louis.
Sarah.
Cyrus.
Rain.
Calling on
Behalf for City Council.
Zoe Sachs for president.
As
You
you
know,
know,
election day is tomorrow.
Day is tomorrow.
I'm calling because election day is tomorrow. And I'm checking in to see if you know where you... Hello? This is Ernst. Can you hear me? Calling places? Hello?
Dial tone.
Hello?
Voices next door die down. Rain's waiting for her next call. Caller 5, Reggie, enters, answers.
What up, Miss?
Hey, Reggie. Getting pumped for election day tomorrow.
Right on, right as rain.
Just calling to make
Super stoked to vote for council, let me tell ya.
sure he'll appreciate it. As would Zoe Sachs.
Toads.
Reggie, what's going on?
It needs me to tell you this, but
Why? Reggie, you can't vote for Nilsson. You just can't.
oh no, dude, no way, never.
Well, then what's the problem?
Well,
Green Party?
yeah, him. And I just think, we gotta blow this. I was listening to a podcast, and it was like, we're trapped, right? We're consumers of the broken American political system that's run entirely by special interest groups like politicians and like the intelligentsia and the Illuminati, and it's just time to say no.
I appreciate what you're saying, Reggie, but you have to remember where you live. This is a swing state. Your vote for Bert Connolly is really a vote for Petrus Nilsson.
That's where I disagree. My vote for Bert Connolly is a vote for Bert Connolly. It's a vote for systemic change.
Reggie, that's sweet, but that's not how it works.
Look.
I'm not.
You can't tell me who to vote for.
I'm not. I would never do that. I'm just saying that sometimes you need to think rationally.
And I'm saying sometimes you need to think big, Rain. First of all, Zoe Sachs is going to win, no question. And if she doesn't, maybe a term under Nilsson would be the thing that prompts real transformation.
But think of the damage that could be done in the meantime.
Look, Rain, you know I respect you. Like I respect you. But my vote is my vote. And I'm voting for Bert Connolly. But don't tell my wife. Seriously, though, don't tell her. She'll freak out and say I'm throwing my vote away.
Sits back. Her phone rings. Schuyler enters. She sees who it is. Smiles. Answers.
Hello?
I'm reminding them there's. I got a little bit jealous.
Well, I figured you weren't planning on voting.
When you say it like that, it sounds like I have a choice.
I just meant, how are you feeling?
About tomorrow? Cautiously optimistic. You?
No, I meant your prostate. That's good.
I was wondering if you wanted to watch the results come into info.
They hang up. Schuyler transforms into Sunny. Rain can feel Sunny on the other end. Sunny hangs up the phone, exits. Scene fades. Scene 12. It's the morning of the election. The television plays the coverage of the news. Bailey and Rain get ready for their days, but it's hard to keep their eyes away from the TV. Polls across America this morning as voters must decide the fate of the country in a neck-to-neck race between political wunderkind Zoe Sachs and outsider Petrus Nilsson. DEBORAH enters from upstairs, fumbling to dress herself in fancy office clothes MARISOL loaned her. She struggles throughout the scene. Bailey holds his address book, enraged. They don't notice her at first. Here to break it down, we have... DEBORAH turns off the TV.
Looks like
Why is this number circle?
see you
What?
knew about Nana.
Nana?
Why didn't you say anything?
She doesn't matter. She shouldn't matter. She's not our real Nana.
She's our other one.
We don't know anything about her.
She lives in Atlanta. Our family has a shipping company, like trucks and stuff. Her name is Ella.
You've talked to her? How could you hide this from me?
How could I hide it from you? How could you hide it from me? This whole time you knew how to contact her and you didn't.
Protecting you.
From what? You don't even know. You don't even know these people. Whatever. I don't care what you think. I'm going down there.
What do you mean?
Once I graduate, I'm going down there. I'm going to live with them. Work for the business. It pays decent and...
No, it's not happening. I did not give everything up for you. Just so that you could...
I never asked you to give anything up for me.
As though I had a choice.
Breath.
Frost enters.
Hey, what's going on?
Bailey wants to move to Atlanta.
For Emery?
No, not for Emery. He's not going to college. He's going down to live with our father's family.
Sorry, what?
Let's just all take...
Where's Marisol? Has anyone seen my wife?
Didn't she come home last night?
I don't know. I fell asleep. No one's seen her?
I'm sure she's fine.
I'm calling the police.
Don't overreact.
My wife
Marisol
is
enters through
missing.
the front door, carrying her guitar.
What happened? What's going on with your guitar?
Why is Bailey still here? You're going to be late for school.
Where were you? Are you okay?
I'm fine. Bailey, move it. We'll talk about this later.
We'll talk about this
Rain
now.
helps usher
Where
Bailey
were
and
you?
Deborah out the front door.
I had a gig.
And when were you going to tell me this?
Eventually,
And why were you out all night?
to be. We were all hanging out after, and I drank a bit too much and didn't want to drive home, so I slept it off.
Well, why didn't you call me?
Why don't you think?
You can't just leave us like that.
I'm sorry.
And the kids are all...
What's wrong with the kids?
What's wrong with the kids? Bailey doesn't want to go to college. He wants to move down to Atlanta to work for his family.
I thought he didn't have family.
Apparently his father's mother's still alive.
Well, why that?
I don't know!
Well, we should talk to him about it.
Oh, you're not actually considering this, are you? We can't ship him off to some stranger.
I should ship him off. It's just, look, if he has family, if he real family,
Real?
biological family, I think we owe it to him to investigate it. What do you think, Rain?
Well, I think it's worth looking into.
She does.
It could be good for him and Deborah too. Take some of the pressure off.
Just stop. Slow down. You can't just come in here and upend everything. Tell me I need to ship my
suddenly
kid
born
off.
again.
What are you talking about?
How you brought that into my house?
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Never mind.
It's about Bailey, isn't it?
What do you mean?
About what you think is best for him. You want to leave. You want to leave, but you can't leave until the kids are taken care of. You got Deborah and that job, and Bailey's got that grade, and now he just may get into college. And then you can go. Tell me I'm wrong.
It didn't start out that way. It's not something I planned step by step. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was. I can't tell anymore, Frost, because I have no idea what I think. I'm suffocating, and I'm just trying to.
Marisol almost lets out the primal scream.
But why?
This I wanted.
Built this together.
You built it out of desperation. I supported you. I wanted you to feel better.
So you don't believe in any of this either? It doesn't help you? Does it hurt you?
Sometimes.
Frost stands there for a moment. He exits. Marisol waits. Rain finishes gathering her belongings.
Sorry. The polls open soon.
I didn't mean to stay out all night. I was trying to do the responsible thing.
I know.
I'm not trying to get rid of the kids. I want them to be able to make their own choices. That's all.
I know.
I love Frost. Our life together.
I get it.
I'll see you there.
Where?
The poll.
Scene fades. Scene 13, the local polling place. Rain sits alone at the table, drained. Jess peeks in. Seeing it's only Rain, she enters.
Oh, Rain, what a rush. I don't think I've ever seen so hairpins. I didn't even know pins. I said no one wears those anymore. But I was clearly wrong. A lot of people there. They could all be Zoe Sachs supporters for all you know. I only saw a few Petrus Nelson caps.
212.
Hasn't gone blue since 1928.
I know.
Hey, I tell you what. Want to come to lose to watch the returns? All the time for Timothy Champagne and cake. We would love to have you.
That's okay.
Jess starts to exit.
I have plans.
She turns back.
Jess, think you'll be a good city councilman?
I think Tim.
What has he done other than have a famous father and veteran brother?
He's not special. That's the point. That's what people grab onto. People here, they want someone like them to be in charge. Someone who understands what it's like to fail, to struggle, to not measure up. People vote for this guy.
But do you think he'll do a good job?
I don't think... I'm not a true believer like you, Rain. Aim. The fight. Sure, I have values, but let's just say they're flexible. This is a rung in a... It's a councilman race, and it's after.
You've charted out quite a career for yourself. Let's hope.
I really do.
And the things they preach.
Well, some of it is garbage. Sure, but some of it is valuable.
It doesn't bother you that you go to this place and pray with these people and you pretend that you're like them, but you're not? I mean, there are people on your staff, people in the fiction.
Jess
I'll see you
exits.
around.
Rain finishes cleaning up. She goes to turn off the lights when DEBORAH enters.
Did I miss it? Ugh, fucking stoplights.
Afraid so.
Yeah, I asked to leave work early and my boss still wouldn't let me go. It's bullshit.
That's unfair.
You know what? Fuck this. I'm over it.
What are you doing?
Quitting.
DEBORAH, think for a minute.
I am. I'm thinking about me. I never wanted this job. It pays worse than Sam's by, like, a lot. You know I was an assistant manager? That's like a big deal. And now I'm some stupid receptionist for what? Just so that I can put some fancy company on my resume? So that I can turn out just like Marisol? Sometimes I just want to...
Do it.
No.
DEBORAH lets out her
Do
primal
it.
scream. It starts off similar to the first one, builds to a roar, and then descends to an ache to a whimper, and a whimper to a breath, and breath to calm. Stillness.
That.
I don't think you've ever finished it before.
I can see why it freaked Bailey out. I just want him to be okay. I want it more than I've ever wanted anything.
He wants the same for you.
I know. I don't want to go to Atlanta. I don't want to meet them.
That's okay.
I don't know why I don't want to. They just don't feel like family to me, I guess. I guess I don't know what family feels like. What does family feel like?
I don't...
What kind of silence is it?
I'm not the best
Is it
person.
open silence?
It can be, I guess.
Is it a safe silence?
At its best. It's like anything else.
A series of inelastic collisions.
Huh.
That's what Billy calls life. A series of inelastic collisions. Something about a car and a tree.
Right. Not every collision is bad, though. A bump into an old friend or a new one.
Eating a popover.
My hand on the ballot.
I'm gonna lodge a complaint with HR.
I think that's a good idea.
And write a letter to someone. Congress? Senator? Can a city councilman help with that? And the polling places should not close this early. People have jobs. You can't just disenfranchise the workers.
Those are good points.
All right. Well, I'll see you at home, I guess.
Hey, Deborah, just out of curiosity.
You can't ask me who I was going to vote for.
Deborah leaves. The scene fades. Scene 14. A street corner in front of a number of bars. Each bar is filled with patrons watching and responding to the election results. Noise from the news coverage and the people reacting inside spills out into the cool November street. Rain stands outside, on the phone, finger to her ear, trying to hear. She leaves a message.
It was so loud I wish I could make out my last message. Anyway, just wanted to check in. Haven't heard from you or seen any Canadians, so
Noise from
just wanted
inside.
to make sure everything was okay.
She peers through the window of the bar at a television screen.
Oh, they should be announcing Ohio soon. Anyway, give me a ring.
Sonny
and let me know
enters.
everything's
She hangs
okay.
up.
He's not coming.
Sonny,
I've always said you can't trust a mechanic.
you've literally never.
Bad about Canadians, but I've always felt it.
This is better.
Noise comes in from the televisions.
Ohio has predicted every election
Predicted every election since 1964.
rain.
What?
Usually you make things tidier, things up in a bow. Reassure me that everything is fine. That I didn't. It's good though that you don't do that anymore.
If it helps. I don't know if he knows that I do either. Were you jealous of Frost? Jealous that he went off to start a new life?
Yes.
You wanted a new life, Angela.
Just a moment. I want a new life with you, Rain. Satisfied.
Well, everyone?
Not me. I had everything I wanted. That's what made it hard, Rain, to know that our life wasn't enough for you.
I don't know. We do apologize? Apologize filled by my life?
No. I shouldn't have handled things the way I did. I shouldn't have closed off in retaliation for not getting things right for you. You were my ground. I should have worked harder to be yours. No. It wasn't. It was real, though. We were a part of something.
We were.
The election results come in.
Part of
She looks
something.
through the window. Sachs has lost Ohio. Sonny disappears. Frost enters.
It's okay. Florida is close. Hi.
Hi. What are you? I was
meeting someone, but they never showed. You?
Short.
Oh. Good. Yeah. That's good.
So Nilsson took it.
It's too close to tall.
Well, the outcome since 1964. What?
Nothing.
The country
Let's not
will.
let's not do that tonight. Okay.
Okay. You were great. I mean it.
Thank you.
I'm sorry your career didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. You know, I read your paper about laps.
You did? When?
Yeah, after death, I wanted to feel close to you, or something. It was it was above me, of course.
Well, science writing is dry.
Not yours. You're writing exuberant. It's more poetry than anything.
I got.
You a question? Why gravity?
What do you mean?
Well, it seems so settled, right? Or something? I mean, it's like we understand it already.
Gravity is still an area of active study. There's.
No, I see, yeah.
It doesn't repel. It keeps us. Right. I wanted to be like that for. And yet. To the collapse of a star. It's gravity that makes. I never liked writing about that. A destroyer. Maybe I should have. I might have been a better scientist.
The sound of a woman singing fills the air. Marisol. They listen. Her song emanates throughout the following.
That's her. Amazing. I forgot what her voice sounded like. It's so me to her in the first place. I think I've always been compelled towards people with a clear sense of self. And I attach myself to them. Instead of learning from them, I just try and be more like me. Sure. Coreless.
Well, maybe your faith is helping you find that core.
Well, I think it is. I think it's one of the ways to find it, but I guess I'm realizing it's not the only way. I want to learn from people like Marisol.
We're more alike than you think.
Say. I think Bailey should meet his family, if that's what he wants. I'll take him down just to be sure, everything's okay.
That's very sensible.
I think you should come with us. So much better with this sort of thing than I am. It'd be really good if you came.
Okay.
You'll come. You'll come? You'll come.
If that's what
They listen to
want.
Marisol's voice.
What
She
we
finishes
all
up a
want.
song, humming, her primal scream, pained, full, beautiful.
I should probably.
Yeah.
You
Rain
want?
sticks
Do you
out
want
her
to?
hand
No,
to
you
shake.
go ahead.
Frost takes it, but he doesn't shake it. He holds it. For a moment, rain, the weather this time, starts to fall. He looks up at it, chuckles. Her eyes are fixed on him. Frost pulls his coat over his head.
I'll see you at home.
Rain looks at the television again, shakes her head. The rain begins to change to snow. She looks at the snow falling, letting flurries fall into her face for a few moments. She takes out her phone, dials. Frost enters on the phone.
Everything
Yells and
okay?
jeers from inside the bar spill out. The official results are in.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
I wanted to say hi.
End of play.
Hi, Mom.
Thank you, everybody, for being a part of our first ever live streamed performance. I know we had some technical difficulties along the way. Thank to you for everybody who stuck it out. Once again, there is an audience feedback survey as well as more information about how you can support Q0 in the description box of the video on the YouTube page. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and then I'm going to be back for a short little discussion period with our playwright. Thank you, everybody. Oh God, hold on. There we go. Now I've got my. Yeah, all right. So now the audio should be bouncing. So as I was saying,
Theater in the time of COVID, everybody.
Yeah,
Theater in the
this is
time of
our,
COVID.
Our delightful first ever live stream, and we made it through some of the technical
Sorry.
difficulties.
Cut
Dan,
out.
you 86'd your audio there somehow.
Oh, did I mute myself? Hold on. All right,
Hey!
I'm coming through on the. Okay, great. Let's. All right. All right, there we go. All right, so we've been figuring out this live stream thing, but it seems like we've got it now. So we'll now begin our little discussion with the playwright, so we can, get a little into how this piece came to be, what you took away from getting to hear it read by actors, and yeah. So why don't we just kind of start off with the basic background? What prompted the creation of this piece?
Yeah, this play was inspired. Probably no banking, and my experience phone banking in a small Rhode Island town, and just the conversations that I had with the different people that would answer the phone. Actually, we were primarily calling New Hampshire residents, so it was mostly New Hampshire people who were answering the phone, and just the things that they would say, and kind of this bizarre intimacy you have with these people who you only talk to for like a minute max, but they're oddly willing to tell you a lot of things about themselves and their lives. And so I just got a kick out of that and found it really fascinating. And then, of course, when the election actually happened, it all took a different meaning for me. So I wanted to craft a play about that experience and that juxtaposition of this like intimacy that you can have with strangers and with the isolation that you can have with your own family.
Interesting. I must say though, I'm in the group of people that's not a big fan of the phone calls.
Yeah, 99% of people are in that.
Yeah, I tell them I play this game.
Yeah, you're
called,
the one, right? You're the one.
Yeah.
Right. I try to play. I tell when I get a phone call, I tell them I'm playing candidate golf. So whoever calls me the least is getting my vote. Yeah, same. Although what I find is worse is now they text you, and I'm just like,
I know,
why?
it's very invasive.
Yeah, texting is way more. I don't know why.
I know. But, I never did the tech. I never got to the texting level, but yeah.
Although I never had an extended conversation with anybody on the phone, but I did have extended conversations with text messages. I don't know, it was weird when I'm just like, please stop, but that's beside the thing. But besides the point. So, kind of building off that, there's an old saying, people say the things you don't talk about in public are politics, religion, and money, and this play's got two of them.
Yep.
And they're usually sore people.
Do you think anybody actually adheres to that, though?
I think they used to before social media.
This axiom everybody knows.
It's pretty much
nobody
the most
seems to adhere to.
things you can talk about in public.
Yeah.
Other people have to. Yeah, you can talk about whatever the hell you want, though.
But why did you feel that these were important, topics to explore in the piece?
Well, it's hard to separate religion from politics now. And I was looking to have a representative of kind of the opposite worldview of her, and if she's, pretty liberal and not very is secular, then having someone who is more conservative and religious seemed like a big change, especially if that was her son. So it's kind of like, usually you expect the child to be the spirited one, and in this case it was the reverse. So it was really just what's the opposite of the main character. So starting with the main character and then going from there.
I liked the dynamic, and I appreciated that, you created people of opposite viewpoints that were, to me, the play didn't take either of their sides, and to me they felt equally stubborn and close-minded, even if they didn't recognize it. I felt it kind of had an Arthur Miller feel to it. I have strong opinions about how he puts together characters. Was it important to you?
Arthur Miller feel, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually
I'll take
once almost got
it.
I once almost got into a heated argument with a professor in college when I said Arthur Miller couldn't write a character that wasn't an asshole. I still stand by that, but I mean it in the most loving way. That like that they're
I wouldn't go
deeply
that
flawed
far.
in the and they have to like overcome these things.
Yeah.
But like, was it important to you to make sure like all the characters have flaws and that like Rain and Frost were both equally as stubborn, so people I don't know, was that like something you worked with, or
Yeah, I
did
was
you personally want to
very
take a side?
No, I was very concerned about Frost coming off as just like this bad guy, especially given the fact that like most theater audiences, at least the ones that I, have been a part of, are generally more like Rain. And preaching to the choir is boring. And also, I just don't think it's really, I wanted Frost to be a human and not just like this like villain character, because ultimately this was going to be a story about a love story between of reconciliation between a mother and son, and in order for that to be possible and for the audience to like want that, I think you need to understand where he's coming from. So that's definitely making sure Frost is likable is not the correct word, but making sure that there's like you can empathize with him or that you understand him was very important to me.
I think that they all came
this.
off as human. They weren't caricatures.
Very, very full. Frost feels very defined and real, and he's chewy enough for 2 hours. Absolutely, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I think that's like what came back to like, because when I was first reading the play, again, I'm a very non-traditional person when it comes to politics, and that's all I'll say. And when it comes and